Now, I know there's that big DC versus Marvel debate that gets people all angsty, but I'm an Image Comics fan, so you can trust absolutely everything I'm saying. In case you haven't seen any of these, though, there's like 4 DC movies so far compared to Marvel's 616, so let me give you the quick recap. In Man of Steel, Superman lands on Earth and reminds everyone that, British people continue to take our jobs. Damn immigrants. In Batman v Superman, they went at it, but then they have to come together to fight their biggest adversary of them all, the critics. Superman dies, the franchise almost does after making this cringy mixtape of a movie, but then it all gets saved once it gets that lady's touch. Now we have Justice League where they're all gonna unite, minus Green Lantern because they haven't forgotten that, in order to fight the big bad villain whose name's Steppenwolf, who looks straight up like Satan. He's supposed to be from this place called Apocalypse, where the DC version of Thanos' Darkseid reigns supreme, but this dude's from Mexico, and he goes by El Cucuy. He's very different from every other superhero villain out there, because he just, wants to take over the human race in order to have world domination, but he can't do this unless he has the 3 Rubik's Cube infinity boxes that are meant to unite and give him this crazy power. He first goes to the Mascara, where Wonder Woman is from, which is weird because they don't even wear that, but he arrives to snatch up the first mother box, and the Amazonians pull that scene from Fast 5 where they try to get away while they're chasing this cube around, but he wins. Next one is underwater in Atlantis, and since Amber Heard can't even beat Johnny Depp, he takes that one easily and he wins. The final one, though, is on this place called Planet Earth, where Batman is from, so he does everything in his power to assemble a team and stop Ivan Ooze from taking that one. He meets up with Wonder Woman, and they both decide to literally go recruit children. The first is Cyborg, who was a football player who got caught in an explosion and survived because his father turned him into Bicentennial Man. But this kid has digital access to everything. Like, if you remember that movie The 13th Year where he keeps getting all these new abilities, this dude just gets all these crazy things that you can't even think of. His robotness keeps taking over, and he's practically Ultron. The Flash comes straight out of Netflix's Atypical series and gets confronted by Bruce Wayne, who tells him to join, and he does since
I need friends.
There's also Aquaman, and he's cool, but Aquaman's practically an aquatic hillbilly. They form their team, they go to defeat Steppenwolf, they don't defeat Steppenwolf, and then they go back to reforming their team. Batman, who's a billionaire who clearly couldn't afford common sense, suggests using the third mother box as a way to wake up Superman from the dead. And after a very long, very Aaron Sorkin debate, they all agree to do it. Now, you're probably recalling that literal final shot of BVS where Clark gets buried, but then right at the end, the dirt rises as if he's alive. No, the dude's literally been dead for months, so that shot makes absolutely no sense. So now this movie turns into Frankenstein, where they literally get Joji over here to spark electricity, to touch the mother box, and resurrect Passion of the Kent back to life. Mind you, this is happening in the same place Lex Luthor created Doomsday in, so obviously Superman wakes up, goes crazy, has a British accent for whatever reason, and flies away. He beats up all of the real-life superheroes while Batman gets an Uber and arrives like an hour late, and I thought they were going to bring back the meme, and Batman was going to save the day by saying, "Martha!" You'd think, considering that it worked once, that it would work again, but no. Instead, though, contrary to that big metal Jaeger suit that Batman had when he first fought Superman and realized how lethal he was, he decides to show up in freaking spandex, and of course he gets beat. So now, not only is Batman wearing Lululemons, but Superman isn't wearing a shirt for like half of his screen time, which is fine because the dude's jacked, but I wish they would have just shaved an S on his chest because I was starting to lose hope on this movie. Eventually, I think they end up in Sokovia and they're all trying to fight Steppenwolf and his big bug creature things. Superman shows up with his CGI'd out mustache, Cyborg splits the mother boxes, the world is saved, Amy Adam writes a paper, and Flash finally has friends. Now, I know a lot of people don't like the other DC movies, but I'll be honest. They were at least different, even if they were sometimes a little too dark, and after having MOS and BVS be very brooding and setting up that tone, it's just so weird to see this one be such a different change. It's like the producers or somebody forced them to change what was their original plan because someone didn't like it. It's almost like one director directed the movie, and then out of nowhere they got another Marvel director to come in and just inject jokes. Oh wait, that's exactly what happened. Thank you guys for checking out this video. I personally didn't like the movie. I do think BVS The Ultimate Cut is better than this third child of a movie is, but again, that's my opinion, and I know that people get very angsty on that, so unless you're dating me or you gave birth to me, I think you'll be okay that I had an opposing opinion. If you loved it, let me know. If you didn't, I'm sure you've already let me know. And if you have any other explain requests for me to do, leave them down below in the comment section so I know what they are, since obviously I am not the greatest detective in the world. Oh yeah, the after credit scene. Superman and Flash race, but the camera cuts quicker than they did. There's also Lex Luthor, who's bald, and he's out on a yacht and has plans to start an Injustice League with Deathstroke, who is not to be confused with Deadshot, Deadpool, or Death Note, but considering he has a white beard, he might be confused for Colonel Sanders.